Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Buzz. A lot of stuff happens.
I know.
A lot of stuff happened this week. Ricky Martin is now engaged.
Oh, wow.
Which was a big story. E-News sent out an alert. Got that on my phone.
Oh,
Lots of different stuff. Lots of TV shows talking about different, TV shows are going to get picked up. Some season finales aired. So there's lots of stuff happening. We also starting to get in some Oscar buzz speculation.
Oh, snap.
Because
the Oscars are back.
That's right. November and December, hot time to see some nice dramatic movies. Lots of stuff going on, including a special package that we get to show people later today. So why don't we find out what's hot in Hollywood?
It's that time of year again. People named their sexiest man alive this past Tuesday, and this year's choice is none other than Dwayne Johnson. The Rock said he was very flattered to receive the call and is excited to be awarded with the title. When asked about his sexiest quality, the actor said it was definitely his sense of humor. Read Dwayne's article and see who else made the list when the issue hits stands this Friday.
He seems like such a genuine person. You know, you don't really hear anybody say anything negative about him. He's always got a smile on his face, so it's nice to see it go to someone who's, nice and seems like a good person.
Yeah, I love him. I always said I was going to be Mrs. The Rock, but, it's fine. He's married and has a baby.
That's right.
It's all good.
And he posts a lot. He has a lot nice dialogue with his fans. He posts a lot. He's in a lot more movies now. Like he's in the new Disney movie, Moana.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So it's a lot of fun stuff going on with him, and so we're excited. We'll definitely check out the new issue. So no one seems to be able to keep up with these guys. The Kardashians and Jenners hold the top 6 spots of this year's Forbes list of top earning reality stars. Kim, of course, snagged the top spot, earning over $51 million this year, with almost half of it coming from her mobile game, Kim Kardashian Hollywood. So Kylie, the youngest of the clan, grabbed the second spot with over $18 million this year, proving the power of the lip kit. So Kendall came close behind with $17 million, then Khloe, Chris, and Kourtney. So it looks like being famous, it really pays well.
Yeah. I have to admit, I indulged in the Kim Kardashian mobile craze.
Sure. A lot of people did. It's a fun, interactive kind of thing.
It is.
It just shows that they really understand the power of the brand.
Yes.
Different things like that. Especially if it's fun, you can get something out of it. With the lip kit, I know a lot of people really enjoyed that when it came out. I know our former host Jess Knight was obsessed with it. So it's a lot of fun to see these kind of different things going on and to see the power of that family.
Right.
This list really just shows you.
That's good for them. That's good marketing.
They really took the reality market by storm.
Yes, they did. Also, Simone Biles, U.S. Olympic gold medalist, recently opened up about her experience being body shamed by a male coach who called her fat. The world's greatest gymnast sat down with People magazine to talk about her experience. She said it was really hard because growing up, she never really felt overweight or fat. So it really shocked her. Why would he say that? But in a way, it actually shaped her for the better because it taught her to rise above and to love her body no matter what. This follows a recent Instagram post by fellow U.S. Olympic gold medalist, Aly Raisman, as she discussed boys who used to make fun of her for being too strong. Both of these incredible athletes have spoken out about their experience and hope to let young fans know how they should love their bodies.
Yeah, it's really surprising, especially because these women are really good role models for these young girls, and they are beautiful young girls.
Right.
It's really, because we had another article about Gigi Hadid not being seen as a beautiful woman as well, told she can't wear certain things. It's really sad that all of these beautiful models and athletes are being demeaned when they're really these pillars and role models for young women. So it just shows there's still a lot, to go on and a lot to fix this problem.
Right. Body positivity is so important, and we need to work on enforcing these positive stereotypes so we don't have any of those problems.
Absolutely. And it's important that they're telling their stories so that way people understand, it's not just someone at school. It's even some of the most beautiful women on the planet face this kind of stuff.
Right.
So you're never alone. And this week, the Beauty and the Beast trailer, to go on a nice high note, it smashed 50 Shades Dark and The Force Awakens records for most views in the first 24 hours of being released. The first official trailer of Disney's live-action film received over 127 million views in just the first day. The trailer, including Emma Watson as Belle, is an exact copy of the original animated version's trailer. And ever since the announcement of the cast, this film has generated constant buzz. And with the trailer numbers factored in, Beauty and the Beast looks to be an absolute gold mine for Disney.
Who doesn't love Disney at this
Disney's
point?
amazing.
Like, everything they do is fabulous, and I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited to see her, and it's gonna be great.
It should be great. I mean, ever since the cast came out, when they announced Ewan McGregor, Emma Watson, like, a lot of these different people are great names, and I think sometimes they're overlooked, and it should be a really great thing. I mean, Disney doing the live action thing is a genius move.
It's been working.
I mean, literally putting out movies you've done before in a different style for a new audience. Amazing. It's just really smart, and I know a lot of us are excited for it. I know I am. It should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it next year.
Me too. It's looking like Nick Cannon is definitely over ex-wife Mariah Carey. Earlier today, the America's Got Talent host confirmed that he's expecting a child with ex-girlfriend and former Miss Arizona, Brittany Bell. This will be Cannon's third child, as he is already the father of two 5-year-old twins, Moroccan and Monroe. During his interview on The Breakfast Club, Cannon expressed that he is extremely excited to be a father again. Congrats to Brittany and Nick on their announcement.
Yeah, I certainly would say he's over. No, it's great. It's it's really nice because we always like saying these stories on the show because it's always a nice thing when families grow, especially in the Hollywood industry. It can be really tough sometimes. Right. So it's always a positive thing when your family grows. So we always like telling these stories, and it's nice to see good things happen to these kinds of people.
Right.
So it's nice. We wish them nothing but the best, right?
Of course, always.
So the Entertainment Buzz does have to take a quick break, but stick around because coming up we have on-campus events and industry news that you simply won't want to miss.
Hi, I'm Jillian, and I'm here for the Entertainment Buzz with Amy Smead, the animation director for Disney's new movie, Moana. So we have a few questions for you. The first one is, how does a film like this come together? How many people does it take? How many years?
So it takes about 5 years total. Our directors were on the film about 5 years ago. There's just a small amount of people at that time. I believe the 2 directors, I believe our production designer was on at the time, our producer. It's a pretty small team. And then as the film goes through the story process is probably the longest part of the process. More departments start to join in. So I was on the film for about 2 years. When the first year was during pre-production, where we're getting all the characters up and ready for the film. That way, when our team of animators come on, they're ready to go. And then for the animators in our department, we had around 90 animators working on the film. And I'm trying to remember how we had probably about 8 or 9 months to work on production. We started our very first scenes in December, last December, and then we finished animation in August.
Gotcha. Wow, that's really cool. So how about the evolution of this movie from beginning story to final character designs? How did that happen?
Yeah, so our process, it goes through a lot of iterations, and we work very closely with John Lasseter, especially the directors. We also have a story trust at the studio, and the story trust consists of the other directors at the studio. So the directors will screen the film for a lot of the people in the studio and also to that story trust. And the story trust and John Lasseter will have notes, and then they go to the next iteration. So it takes pretty big leaps each version of the story. And then there's usually around 5 screenings of the story that happen before we actually start animating on the film. So, which is great because we really want to make sure the story is nailed down before we start animating, because when you start to cut animation from the film, it gets very expensive because there's 24 frames per second in animation. So
yeah, that's a lot being thrown out, a lot of hours too, because it takes a long time, right?
Yeah, for a film, if we have an average of about, say, like nine months to work on a film, most of our animators, we have about a minute in the film. Some will have slightly more, some slightly less. So that kind of shows you how long the process is to work on a film for almost a year and only have a minute of animation in the film. So, yes.
Wow, how do you keep the style consistent between all of the animators?
Yeah, it's very difficult, but we have supervising animators and also the heads of animation that help with that. And we have something we call them chalk talks, where the supervising animators meet with the whole department and they talk about the acting of the character. And since in pre-production, all the supervisors have basically worked with our characters for about a year, now we're trying to get everybody else up to speed on the characters. So we have the chalk talks where we're talking about what her shapes are and how wide her smile is, for example, and her brows, and what to do with that, what to do with expressions, and just her acting. How does she stand? Does she stand tall? Does she slump? Those sort of things. So we're going into all the details of the character to help keep them consistent. Yeah, and then we do lots of drawings over some of the work too.
So how about your job? What is your specific job?
So my job I was co-head of animation. My partner was Hiram Osmond. And our job really is to make sure that the director's vision is seen on the screen. So we're working really closely with the supervising animators. And our daily, like to take a day in my life, we have something called rounds, which is where we're going to most of the animators and we're looking at their animation. And they're showing us at different iterations. So we have something called a rough blocking pass, and there's kind of a middle pass, which we call a spline pass. And then there's that final pass. So we're looking at each of those passes and we're giving notes on the characters, what the moment in that scene, and we're trying to make sure the director's vision it's in their vision. So that's the bulk of what we do, is helping animators get their work done.
Were there any tough decisions that you had to make in regards to the film?
Oh gosh, there's always tough decisions, but a lot of it comes down to just working with people, and somebody might be upset about this thing or that thing, but it's I think with this film we had a lot of challenges in terms of, we have Maui's transformations, which how are we going to do that? We have Maui's anatomy. We had to spend a ton of time building all the muscles, and because in the past, if you look at our films, the characters are all clothed. So with Maui, he has no shirt on. So that was a challenge, just how are we going to get that to read, because you have to make sure that's working. And then we had the water character, which was a really cool character, but also very challenging. We have the lava monster, which is a character that's covered in lava. So we had lots of challenges in that sense that we tried to figure out up front. Yeah.
What about for someone who's new at animation? What tips would you give them?
I would say to study acting, to study body mechanics within humans and dogs and just animals out there, and how characters move, because we have to have a really good understanding of body mechanics. And when you take a walk, your foot comes up, and so your weight has to shift over here, otherwise you'll fall over. So we have to have a really good understanding of that sort of thing, how the spine works. And then acting is such a huge part of it, because we want our characters to, there's always thinking behind the characters, so we have to study a lot about that. Those are kind of the two big. Did I answer that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to know. I just wanted to know, like how, per se, if I wanted to have your job one day, what would I do to get there?
Okay. So studying those two things, I think life drawing is so important. Even though our films are done in the computer, life drawing is still really important, because we do still do a lot of drawing, and it can also help with posing. Getting interesting poses, observing life just around you. It's something that a lot of us have sketchbooks, and we'll go to the park or a cafe and just constantly sketching and just observing things, because you kind of keep it up in your head, and then there's a character at some point that needs to do something interesting, and it can help, like, oh, I remember this lady walking down the street or whatever it was, but just to add those unique and interesting things to our characters and making them relatable. So I'd say those are some of the big things.
Oh, that's fabulous. I love it.
So November 23rd is when the movie's coming out, and I'm so excited, and I hope you all love it.
Yay! So go see Moana when it comes out in theaters. I can't wait.
Come create and calculate. Shatter both records and stereotypes. Build improbable machines and impossible medicines. unleash masterpieces and birth theories. Come because there is much to be done out there, and to be undone. Come find out everything of which you are capable. Come believe in something greater than yourself. An experience unlike any other awaits you here. Here, dreams are in need of your voice. Fragile ideas await your strength. Come answer this call. Join this assembling of minds. Put your grand imagination to work. Come let your visions rattle these walls and help move the world forward. Come join the leaders and best, the victors valiant. Come to Michigan.
Welcome back to the Entertainment Buzz. I'm here with Taylor, and this week we're going to talk Oscars. As we move into awards season, we're starting to get a clearer picture of how it might play out. In Sully, Tom Hanks played Captain Sullenberger, the pilot who safely landed a plane in the Hudson after the engines failed. Hanks will be receiving the Palm Springs Film Festival Icon Award for his performance. It's a really interesting film. It looks to be a very gripping one. It tells the story behind what actually happened that we don't really know. We just kind of got the news coverage of how he saved the lives of the people on board, but not what happened behind the scenes.
Right.
So it should be interesting. I mean, Clint Eastwood's involved, and so a lot of times when he's involved, it's pretty good.
Right.
So we should be looking forward for that to see what happens, but there's even more movies to cover.
Yep. Fences, starring Viola Davis and Denzel Washington, has also started traveling around the festival circuit to great acclaim. Both actors had previously held these roles in the 2010 Broadway revival of the classic August Wilson plays. The film revolves around a 1950s African-American family struggling to make ends meet.
When you put those two together,
Right.
it should be gold.
Right.
I mean, Viola Davis is amazing. Her performances are really good, which is why she's won awards before. And Denzel Washington has been proven to be successful at the box office. So getting a gripping kind of movie like this, putting it at the right time, it should be good for prime Oscar bait. So I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out.
Me too. The
It should
trailer's
be
looking
fun.
pretty intense.
We'll go see it together. It should be fun.
Movie date.
So movie musical La La Land has also been touted as possible frontrunner for Oscars for both leading actors Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, as well as the director Damien Chazelle, who was nominated for Whiplash, which was another great movie. La La Land is about a musician and an aspiring actress who meet and fall in love in Los Angeles. Who doesn't love a good musical?
Right, and who doesn't love a good love story?
Absolutely.
So this is just great.
And Ryan Gosling has proven that he's very good in these kind of love romances. And Emma Stone is one of the hottest names right now. She can do the comedies, she can do the dramas. So it should be really interesting, especially in a musical, to see how those two
Right, how
pan
they
out.
mix,
But
right.
I know I'm looking forward to it. I love me a good musical. So
Me too.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it, and especially seeing how it plays in Oscars, because sometimes musicals are either overhyped or underhyped depending on the Oscar races. Sometimes they're given too much respect or not enough. So it'll be interesting to see how the Academy plays with it.
Handles that, yeah. Also, a hit at Sundance, Manchester by the Sea may also be a frontrunner in the Oscar nominations. This devastating drama stars Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams, whose characters we see move through their everyday lives under the shadow of death. Directed by Kenneth Lonergan, this melodramatic film could have what it takes to be a huge contender in 2017.
I mean, it has a lot of good names in there. Michelle Williams is a personal favorite of mine. Her performance in Brokeback Mountain was amazing. She can really grip those serious kind of roles. And then Kyle Chandler's also in the movie as well from Friday Night Lights. He's really good. So there's a lot of good names tied into this, and especially like the dramas. I just love Oscar dramas. I think they're fantastic. I think this one should be a good one to take a look at, because I think this one, kind of like Bridge of Spies, can go under the radar. Some people may not have seen it. Some people may not think it's really the high-touted movie of the year. But I think this is a dark horse to really look for.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure to check that one out for sure.
So that does it for this week's episode of the Entertainment Buzz right here on WOLV TV. For up-to-date entertainment news and commentary, plus behind-the-scenes videos that you can't find anywhere else, be sure to check us out on vimeo.com/wolvtv. You can also shoot us an email at wolv.ebuzz@umich.edu. And be sure to like us on Facebook as well. For the entire cast and crew, I'm Jake, and you have just been buzzed.